Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
Welcome to episode 46 of Talk Smart with
Pugh.
and McCart. That is young Joe Pugh with a smelly, disgusting top on, and I'm Andrew McCart. Joe, is that for my benefit, that England top?
Well, I think it was for the benefit of yourself, for the benefit of England, whose first game will be on Sunday, and for the benefit of the fact that we've got an all-English world title fight on Saturday night. So,
You saved it there. You saved
England
it.
is flying high. England's flying high.
Well, definitely. Listen, Scotland are in the Euros. First game against Germany on Friday. First one since '98. Believe it or not, Joe, I'm old enough to remember that tournament. How old was I? I was 16 years old.
So
were you even born?
You was 2 years younger than my dad in '98.
That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy.
I was -5 years old, mate.
-5. Okay, well, let's I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, that's how old I am. I still remember that '98 tournament, and it's took us 26 years to get back in another one. But listen, we're here to talk boxing, not football. I'm sure that I'll be depressed and sad come end of this month anyway, so I don't really care. My sports,
July, probably.
Yeah, not much happening this week in terms of news and stuff like that. June seems a bit of a quiet month, but we do, like you mentioned there, do have an all English in your words, but we'll say British. World title fight happening at Selhurst Park down in London against Chris Billam-Smith and Richard Riakporhe, the rematch, which is exciting. I'm looking forward to this fight because these two are just small heavyweights. Do you know what I mean? We're going to get excitement in this fight, I believe, and both of them can pack a punch. I think Chris Billam-Smith became a better fighter since that first fight they had with Richard Riakporhe, and it was a close fight, the first one. So, yeah, you're going to be there, Joe. So tell me, what's your thoughts on it? You excited?
I am excited. It's always nice to go to a venue you wouldn't usually go to for boxing, at Selhurst Park. As I understand, there's going to be a few little surprises that I think they're organising to make, because it's the Crystal Palace centenary, so I think they're going to make it a big night there. And you've got Richard Riakporhe, who, contrary to what CBS says, is a Crystal Palace fan and not a Millwall fan. And so it'll be in his home stadium fighting for a world title, which is what Chris Billam-Smith done last year. So good that we're getting these domestic world title fights, and it is the second chapter in a rivalry that's gone back, I think, 5 years. I think the first fight was on the White Rivas card, I want to say.
Yeah, listen, I can double check for you, but you might be right, mate. And like I said, it was a split decision in that fight. I think did Riakporhe knock CBS down? Did he get knocked down?
Once, I think, yeah.
Yes. So, and you look at the way CBS has fought and came on in his last couple of fights there. He's definitely grown as a fighter. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, Riakporhe is massive for a cruiserweight. Like, he's huge. Man, I've been around him, and he is an absolute unit of a man. And like I said, they're just small heavyweights, these cruiserweights. And but I think we're going to get an absolute action-packed fight in this one. And I think the winner obviously goes on for a unification. I mean, the cruiserweight division, there's always been a division where maybe going back to '98 when Scotland made their last tournament, the cruiserweight division, they weren't household names. You never knew who these guys were. They were just there, and it was never really a household marquee division. But of late, since maybe, I don't know, Usyk and Marius Bradis and all these guys, they've really made it an exciting division. And then especially here in the UK, we've got an absolute plethora of talent in this cruiserweight division. And I think the winner of this fight goes on for a unification. And I think there should be a unification there. We've got Jai Apataya, we've got Zurdo Ramirez, who's the WBA champion. We've got Jai Apataya, who's the IBF and Ring magazine. Chris Billam-Smith is the WBO, and I think the WBC is vacant just now, but Badu Jack is champion in recess.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said, because there was talks about him moving up to fight Rudansky before Okole. at Bridgerweight, but I think he's going to drop back down, and obviously try and get a unification fight with one of these guys that we just talked about. But like I said, there's a lot. I've said this all the time, Joe, haven't I? I said that when you get two British guys going at it, whether it be for a British title or world title in the UK, we get nothing but fireworks, and I expect nothing less. Do you?
Yeah, look, I think Chris Billam-Smith is the gentleman, and you're never going to get him round tables at press conferences. But I think this is about as intense you'll get with a fighter like Chris Billam-Smith. I don't think they're particularly fond of each other. They're very, very different people. And yeah, it's a clash of styles and it's a clash of personalities. When you look back to their first fight, Richard Riakporhe was on a massive upward trajectory. I think he just beat Tommy McCarthy, if that's right. And then he was going to go on to beat Massey later on that year. And then when it comes to COVID and lockdown, he kind of plateaued a bit, and we see him out the ring for 18 months, 2 years. And Chris Billam-Smith just kept on going up and up and up until he reached that point where he did win the world title. And it felt like Richard Riakporhe was maybe just a fight behind him for the last year until he got the opportunity to fight Joe Pugh. He did, that wasn't taken, and now he's got the all domestic clash. Which could you say that the easier world title fight? Maybe, because of how highly regarded Joe Pugh is at the minute. I don't know, but I'm sure the winner will have a big claim to say that he is the number one in the division. And they have to fight each other. The winner of this fight should fight Jair Pugh.
100%, definitely agree. I spoke to Jair Pugh out in Saudi Arabia, and he said his next fight needs to be a unification. He doesn't care who it is, anyone with a belt. But I think he was leaning more towards fighting the winner of. He never said, he's quite a man of few words, and he doesn't really name call or trash talk or anything like that. But I think that he was hinting towards facing the winner of this fight. But he said anyone. It could be Ramirez, it could be Badu. I mentioned Badu Jack because I spoke to Badu Jack out in Saudi as well, and I said, what's happening here? Where's that WBC title? I mean, you haven't fought in over nearly a year and a half to 2 years. He said, I'm champion in recess. So he's still there for that WBC belt. And if you want that belt, you probably have to go through Badu Jack. But boxing's a funny game. You mentioned there that after the first fight between Billam-Smith and Riakporhe, you're probably half thinking that Riakporhe will become a world champion before Chris Billam-Smith. But you just look at the way boxing is. It's all about momentum and activity and getting the right fights. And Chris Billam-Smith's a world champion, and Riakporhe's not really... Has he fought for a world title? He hasn't even fought for a world title, has he? No, he's not even fought for one.
Still undefeated.
Oh, yes, he's undefeated. So he is. I think he's had 80% knockout ratio as well. So that's why I'm excited about this fight, because I think this one, because of what's on the line, ain't going the distance. Yeah, so it's exciting times, and I'm looking forward to it. And the winner has to go through Jair Pugh. I think that fight, Jair Pugh is the top dog in this division.
Yeah,
it has to be. He did the two fights with Marius Bradis, the John Thompson win, the Ellis Zorro win. He's the top dog. He's got the Ring magazine. He's got the IBF. I think he's the number one dog. And if you want to be the top dog in that division, you have to go through Jair Pugh.
But yeah, there you go. It's all about momentum. 2 years ago, you probably didn't really know Jair Pugh unless you was a hardcore boxing fan. And he's come up, beat Bradis twice, to put a demolition job on Jordan Thompson and Ellis Zorro. And now people are regarding him as potentially even in the pound-for-pound conversation, which he could be if he wins his next couple of fights in the style that he did against the likes of Zorro and Thompson. So it just shows you there is a lot of momentum, and it would be a very, very interesting fight on Saturday night, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a good undercard, Andrew. You got Isaac Chamberlain was meant to be fighting Shishlak. Now he's fighting Massey. I think that's an excellent domestic fight. Ben Whittaker versus the African King. It's a very intriguing fight. What are your thoughts on Ben Whittaker, Andrew?
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him. I really do. Like, Prince Nazim was the guy that got me into boxing. When I used to watch boxing with my dad, it was Prince Nazim doing his things. Again, I'm not comparing Ben Whittaker to Prince Nazim. I'm not. He's got similarities, obviously, the way they approach the game and the way they fight and whatnot. I would like to see with the Leon Willings fight, when Ben was he got tagged, and then you seen Ben high guard, and you seen him more neat, accurate boxing. He's still having fun in there, but he's not showboating too much. Do you know what I mean? He's still doing little bits here and there. And I like that. I like that when you can see a fighter. Well, he clearly got a good chin because he got clocked in that fight against Willings. And yeah, I think Ben Whittaker I'm really excited about, but you still need to see him in there with somebody that's going to put him on his back foot, somebody that's going to sit on his chest, somebody that's going to rough him up. And I said this before as well, the makings of a fighter to see how a fighter goes through adversity, whether a deep cut, head clash, low blows, anything like that. If a fighter can get through all these little things inside the boxing ring that happens all the time and he can get through that with flying colours, then we've got a world champion on our hands, or a guy that's world level. And I think that Ben Whittaker needs that fighter, like a Dan Aziz maybe. I mean, they're fighting on the same card. Like a Dan Aziz, who's going to just sit on your chest, who's going to keep coming forward, who's going to push you on your back foot, who might not let you showboat too much because, again, he will just keep swinging. That's the fight I think that might be his coming out party if he can get a fight like a Dan Aziz. But I love Ben Whittaker. But going to the other cruiserweight fight, because we're talking about cruiserweights, is that Jack Massey and Isaac Chamberlain fight. Another domestic cruiserweight fight that's a 50-50 fight, an exciting fight. We could dominate the cruiserweight division here in Britain if we really wanted to, with Chef Clark, Jack Massey, Isaac Chamberlain, Riakporhe, CBS. You know what I mean? We've got an absolute plethora of talent here, and I probably missed John Thompson. Do you know what I mean? You got a 6'6". He might have lost against Jaya Pattaya, but he's still a good fighter. Do you know what I mean? And he can come again. So yeah, the whole card's brilliant. But going back to Ben Whittaker, then your thoughts?
Yeah, I love him because I think his personality in the ring is different to his personality outside the ring. When you speak to him, you're probably not expecting how well he speaks. He's not flash. He's quite humble. He's modest. He knows that's his star when he knows that he wants to become a star, and that's how you're going to become a star. I really like Ben Whittaker. I think he's a really, really nice guy. And yeah, I just look forward to seeing him every single time. And it's very rare that you get the amount of people talking about someone so early on in the career, and the amount of numbers it does on social media, these highlight reels. It is big, and hopefully we do see the birth of a superstar. I just want to move on quickly, Andrew, to Puerto Rico this weekend.
Oh, listen,
one of your favourite fighters.
Yes. Subriel Matias, man, he's just an absolute crazy, not crazy fighter. It's probably the wrong word, but just the way he fights, man. He's just, again, if you're a pure boxer, you might be, that might be his kryptonite. If you're a pure boxer, you know, them flashy back foot, punching off the back foot, making you mess, moving head movement. Can Liam Paro do that? He's a good boxer, but it's keeping away from Matias for 12 solid rounds. It's hard. Do you know what I mean?
I love the fight.
What's that?
I love this fight. I really do. I think you came under the radar a bit.
I'm not writing Liam Paro off by any stretch.
Neither am I.
Definitely not. Liam Paro's a very, very good boxer, and he's tough. But like I said to you, what is it? Subriel Matias' last 5 fights, he's made his last 5 opponents quit on the stool. Do you know what I mean? That just goes to show you, like, the power he punches, the frustration he causes. He'll probably just frustrate you because you're probably hitting him with a heavy shot after heavy shot, but you're not making a dent in him, and it just breaks your will. But then he's landing heavy shot and hurting you and cutting you and all sorts. So he just snaps your confidence and breaks your will, and he's just an absolute monster. But again, Liam Paro, man, he's no joke. He's got a high knockout ratio. He can box. But like I said to you, can he stay away from Matias for 12 rounds, Joe?
Time will tell. And I do think this is a step up for Matias. I think Paro's probably his hardest fight. And I interviewed Paro late last week, and it's be going out tonight, about this fight, and the amount of self-belief that man has is unparamounted. He is so confident going into this fight. He said he's always looked at Subriel Matias and thought one day they will get it on, and they are getting it on. And it's in Puerto Rico. He's thriving off the fact that he is literally going into the lion's den. He said he needed that massive performance against Montana Love after the back of a 12-month layoff nearly through injury. He said the stars are aligned and he's going to become world champion.
The Montana Love, he wasn't even favourite for that fight as well. And look what he done. Look what he done to Montana Love. Do you know what I mean? So it goes to show you that he thrives on that underdog mentality, being the underdog, being written off, because there might be pressure on Subriel Matias going home to Puerto Rico because they're passionate fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There might be, even though he's had no pressure to perform in front of his home fans before. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes that can be that can add that little bit of that extra bit of nerves to a fighter when he's got all them. I don't know how many whether they're fighting or how many fans the stadium holds, but I'm sure there's going to be thousands upon thousands of Puerto Rico fans there. And like I don't know if you've ever been to New York and Puerto Rico Day and stuff like that. They're passionate. They are passionate. Do you know what I mean? So, this is a tough fight for Matias. There's a lot of things that's new to him in terms of Puerto Rico, this, that, the next thing, signing with Eddie Hearn, big promoter, all this, that, the next thing. So it's an exciting fight. It's probably one of them fights that I might stay up for, to be honest with you, because I really, really like Subriel Matias. I really, really like his style. It reminds me of me when I was a kid.
The Scottish Subriel.
The Scottish Subriel. Oh, Subriel's the Scottish and the Puerto Rican Andy, whatever. You know what I mean? We can say that.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's definitely a fight that's gone under the radar, and it's one I'm looking forward to. In that 140-pound division right now, which is just stacked. It's probably the best division in boxing right now.
Probably.
It has to be. It has to be. Who name a division as stacked and as dangerous as that? Do you know what I mean? Matias, Devin Haney, Lopez, what can I forgot? I forgot Pitbull Cruz. Do you know what I mean? Jack Carroll. Do you know what I mean? Liam
Ryan
Paro,
Garcia.
Danny, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's an absolute fucking stacked list. You have Richardson Hitchens as well.
Regis Prograis, Dalton
Regis
Smith.
Prograis. I see what I mean. It's just an absolute beautiful division. I love it. I love that division. The best division in boxing, hands down. But yeah, good fight week this week coming up. Will you be supporting Scotland on Friday night? That's the main question I need to ask you, Joe. Where will you be watching that fight? That game.
Probably. I'll probably be watching it.
Because I know the English, right? You don't like the Germans, you don't like the Scots, but if you had to choose,
I feel like whatever answer I give, I'm going to be politically incorrect. So I'm just going to stay on the fence here because I don't know who's watching. So there you go. So
I'll put it this. I'll put it like this. No, I'll put it like this, Joe. You'll probably beat us at penalties, but you'd never beat the Germans at penalties. How's that?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see who's more disappointed at the end of July when it's all said and done.
Come on, Joe. I've been a Scotland fan since the 80s, mate. Since I've been a young kid. Well, 8 years old, 9, 10 years old. And I know what Scotland do. They build you up, they build you up, they build you up just to drop you from a great height. Do you know what I mean? In 1988, I think it was, the mix, was that 88? The press in Scotland was saying that we're going to win the World Cup in Mexico. That's how good it was. We were that good a team. Who did
you have?
I think we had Dalglish, Souness.
Dalglish, yeah.
We had great. I can't remember who else we had in that team. I need to look it up. I was too young to remember, but I can just remember talking about it. And we were winning the World Cup. We'll bring that World Cup home. Yeah. And we got knocked out in the group stages again. So I know Scotland. Listen, we're just there to enjoy the ride. Fuck it.
Well, at least we know a Brit's going to be winning a world title fight this week, whether it be in CBS or Richard Riakporhe.
Well, that's it. At least we know we've got a British world champion come Saturday night. We've got one anyway. It's staying here because CBS is the world champion, so it's staying here in the UK. Exactly. So nothing to moan about. I'm away down in Bolton this week for the Channel 5 show. Looking forward to that.
I'm there first.
Pardon?
I'm there tomorrow, mate.
Are you? Are you doing the workout?
Yeah, I'm going. Yep, I'm doing the media day, and then you're doing the fight night, mate.
Perfect. Listen, Joe, always pleasure speaking to you, man. I'll catch you up on Sunday. We'll probably do a review of the fights we've been to, do a review of the Scotland game, no doubt, and a preview of the English.
And a preview of England's first game. Sunday's England's first game, so.
Exactly. So we're looking forward to it. Joe, thank you so much, brother, and I'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.